Welcome back to Brands Hatch for the Super Sprint Championship, and it's race 5 of the season under the lights this Thursday evening.
It's always an exhilarating feeling to be here for these sprint events. 4 races in one night means you need to be sharp from the very first corner.
Absolutely, and the championship battle is heating up. Tim Weller still leads overall, but John Clark and John Estrop, both pro drivers, are breathing down his neck in second and third.
That pro championship is incredibly tight, and you've got drivers like Chris Stokes and Dominic Favardeau battling hard in the Pro-Am category too. And don't forget the AM championship, Joel Lemrich and Rich Snape are right there in the top group.
Indeed, and we're set for more incredible action right here on the Brands Hatch Indy Circuit. So the grid is set for race 5 here at Brands Hatch, and it's Jody Fannin, the pro driver, who lines up on pole position.
A fantastic qualifying lap from Jody. You know, getting pole at Brands Hatch is huge, especially with the short Indy circuit. Track position is everything here.
Indeed, and alongside him on the front row is Mac McFarquhar, who is 5th in the overall championship standings. Then it's John Estrop in P3, another pro driver looking to close the gap to Weller.
And speaking of championship leaders, Tim Weller, currently topping the standings, is starting way back in 17th. He's got a massive job on his hands to make up places, especially with drivers like Rich Snape, an AM competitor, starting P5 and leading that class charge from the sharp end.
It's going to be fascinating to see how the early laps unfold with such a mixed grid. And the lights are out. Race 5 is go at Brands Hatch.
Great start from Jody Fannin from pole, holding off Mac McFarquhar into Paddock Hill Bend.
That was a busy first few seconds, and already we see Tim Weller, the championship leader starting from 17th, making an early move, getting past Sten Wallstrom.
Yeah, Tim knows he needs to make ground quickly from that far back. He's got to be aggressive but smart in these opening laps.
Further up the field, Martijn Mol, the pro driver, is on a charge, picking off Phil Bodkin.
And he's not stopping there. Martijn also makes a move on Joel Lemrich, the AM class frontrunner, gaining another crucial position. It's a great double pass.
Meanwhile, Rich Snape, starting well in P5, seems to be holding his own amongst the pro drivers in these early stages.
He's had a strong start to the season, so it's no surprise to see him up there. He's got good racecraft, which you need to survive this pack.
Up at the front, Mac McFarquhar makes the move and takes the lead from Jody Fannin.
Oh, contact. That was a heavy hit. Fannin just didn't leave enough space for McFarquhar through there.
Further back on circuit, Mac McFarquhar making some progress through the midfield now, getting past Elliott Norton.
And McFarquhar's not waiting around. He's also cleared Greg Sabo. He's clearly determined to claw back some places after that earlier incident.
We're seeing a really feisty battle develop here. Chris Stokes has lost a spot to Martijn Mol, and now Nigel Walters is right there on his bumper.
Walters goes for it. He's through. Oh, but Stokes fights back immediately. This is incredibly close, right on the edge.
And they're side by side again into the next turn, contact between Stokes and Walters. And then, a moment later, another hit, this time Stokes and Tim Weller. There's been a heavy impact on track between John Boontakis and Sten Wallstrom, sending Wallstrom wide.
And it's not over yet for Wallstrom. He's gone straight into the barriers. That was a big one. You can see the damage there.
And look at this. Tim Weller, the championship leader, has just been overtaken by Elliott Norton, losing another position.
That's not what Weller needed. He's been trying to fight his way forward all race, and now he's losing ground again.
A little further back, a great fight for position between Phil Bodkin and Jimmy Lindo.
Lindo makes the move, taking the place from Bodkin. It's great to see these battles all the way through the field.
Phil Bodkin and Jimmy Lindo are still at it, swapping positions for what feels like the third time in as many laps.
Lindo takes it, then Bodkin goes for the cutback. This is classic Brands Hatch. You've got to commit to hold your line. And Lindo gets it back once more.
John Estrop crosses the line. A sensational performance from the pro driver to take the win here in race 5.
What a drive from John. To start third and navigate all that early chaos and come out on top. That's championship winning form right there.
And it's Jody Fannin who comes across the line in second position.
A fantastic recovery drive from Jody. After that early contact, I honestly didn't think he'd be on the podium. That just shows the resilience you need in these sprint races.
Rounding out the podium, John Clark takes third place.
Another strong result for John Clark, who maintains his strong championship standing. Consistency is key, and he's delivering it race after race.
What a race here at Brands Hatch. John Astrop, who started P3, takes a well-deserved win, pushing himself closer in the Pro Championship.
Absolutely. And we saw Jody Fannin, despite that early incident, recover brilliantly for second. Tim Weller, the championship leader, had a challenging race starting from 17th. It certainly mixed things up.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch for Race 6, and the championship standings have certainly seen some movement after that thrilling Race 5.
Yeah, John Astrop's win has propelled him up to second overall, now just a few points behind Tim Weller, who still leads. That's a huge jump for the pro driver.
And look at Jody Fannin, a massive leap up the table too after his podium. Also, Chris Stokes has climbed significantly in the Pro AM standings, now well into the top 5 overall. Every race is becoming critical. Welcome back for Race 6 here at Brands Hatch. And what a fascinating grid we have for this reverse grid encounter. Greg Sabo takes pole position alongside Sten Wallstrom.
This is where it gets really interesting. All the faster drivers, including last race winner John Astrop, are right at the back of the grid. It's going to be a huge challenge for them to cut through the field on this tight circuit.
Indeed. Championship leader Tim Weller starts P9, which is relatively strong for him. But John Clark is P14 and John Astrop P16. Meanwhile, we have AM drivers like Joel Lemrich and Rich Snape starting P5 and P6 respectively.
It's a completely different dynamic this time around. You'll see a lot of aggression from the back, but the front runners will be trying to hold on for dear life. It's about who can make their way through the traffic most efficiently.
The lights are out. Race 6 is underway here at Brands Hatch.
An aggressive start from the front row. Sabo leads, but the midfield is already looking incredibly busy.
Joel Lemrich, the AM class driver, is making early moves, getting past Phil Bodkin.
And Lemrich continues his charge from P5 on the grid, also dispatching Sten Wallstrom. He's already up a couple of spots.
Mac McFarquhar is working his way through the midfield from his P12 starting position. He's just past Daniel Cochise and Elliot Norton.
He's really on a mission in this reverse grid race. And McFarquhar is not stopping there, also getting past Sten Wallstrom. He's making short work of this group.
Jody Fannin, starting P15, makes a move on Daniel Cochise.
Oh, contact. Fannin and Astrop. Fannin just turned in on Astrop, causing a collision. That's going to be a penalty for Jody Fannin. That was an aggressive move.
Elliot Norton and Nigel Walters are locked in a fierce battle here, trading places.
Norton gets the move done on Walters, but Walters is fighting back immediately. This is fantastic wheel-to-wheel racing.
John Astrop is trying to make his way forward, and he's just taken a place from Nigel Walters.
But Walters is not giving up easily. He's straight back at Astrop. This is a really intense battle for position. They're swapping places constantly.
Oh, Mac McFarquhar has understeered straight into Tim Weller. That's a penalty for McFarquhar.
Weller is now falling like a stone. He's just lost positions to Jody Fannin and Rich Snape.
And it keeps getting worse for Weller. John Astrop gets past him, then John Clark and Nigel Walters. He's really struggling for pace now.
Phil Bodkin and Sten Wallstrom also get by. From P9, Tim Weller has dropped right down the order after that contact. This is a disaster for his championship hopes.
Chris Stokes and Sten Wallstrom are embroiled in a battle here, swapping positions for what feels like the third time.
Stokes gets past Wallstrom, but Wallstrom comes back strong. And then a crunch. Wallstrom has rear-ended Chris Stokes. That was a clumsy move by Wallstrom.
Absolute chaos in the midfield. Elliot Norton has just dropped a huge number of places.
Rich Snape, along with John Clark, has gained multiple spots there. It's a massive shuffle as drivers try to navigate through the pack.
And Rich Snape has gained even more positions, passing Mac McFarquhar and Greg Sabo. A really impressive recovery drive. Phil Bodkin and Tim Weller, the championship leader, are having a spirited fight for position.
Weller gets past Bodkin, but Bodkin isn't letting him go easily. And Weller takes the place again. He's really fighting to recover here.
Jimmy Lindo crosses the line from P3 on the grid to winning race 6 here at Brands Hatch. What a story.
Incredible. Lindo held his nerve at the front of this reverse grid race. And right behind him, Elliot Norton takes second, and Jody Fannin a brilliant third from 15th on the grid.
That was a wild race 6 here at Brands Hatch. Jimmy Lindo takes an unexpected win. A fantastic drive from the front.
The reverse grid certainly delivered. We saw championship leader Tim Weller have a really tough race after contact, dropping well down the order. Jody Fannin also had an eventful race, bouncing back from a penalty to finish on the podium. Every point matters in this championship.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch for Race 7, and the championship battle has intensified even further after that dramatic reverse grid race.
You're not kidding. Tim Weller still holds the lead, but John Estrop is now just 1 point behind him. The Pro Championship is absolutely heating up.
Absolutely incredible. And look at Joel Lemrich, the AM driver. He's climbed to 4th overall. A fantastic showing. Meanwhile, Jimmy Lindo's win has propelled him right up the order.
It just shows how quickly things can change in these super sprint events. Every point is vital, and those mid-pack battles are now having a huge impact on the championship tables.
Here we go for Race 7 at Brands Hatch, and it's Mac McFarquhar on pole position, a fantastic qualifying effort from the Pro AM driver.
This is a big one for McFarquhar. He needs a clean run to try and close the gap in that Pro-Am championship. Getting a good start is absolutely vital here.
Alongside him is Martijn Mol, and then crucially, Tim Weller, the championship leader, starts P3 after his troubles in the last race. This is a prime opportunity for him to consolidate his lead.
Yeah, Weller's got to make the most of this. John Estrop, who is only 1 point behind him in the championship, is way back in P8. And Joel Lemrich, another AM frontrunner, is right down in P16, so it's a golden chance for Weller.
And Chris Stokes is also looking strong from P4, trying to climb higher in that Pro AM title fight. And the lights are out. Race 7 is go.
Mac McFarquhar gets a great start from pole, leading the field into Paddock Hill.
Jody Fannin, starting from P6, is making quick progress, getting past Elliot Norton already.
Fannin's definitely on a charge after that last race. He's got to be careful, though, after his penalty in race 6.
Joel Lemrich, down in P16, is starting his climb through the field, making a move on Greg Sabo.
He's definitely making up for that poor qualifying. Lemrich knows every point counts for his AM championship hopes.
John Estrop, looking to close that championship gap, has just gained a place from Chris Stokes.
That's an important move for Estrop. Every position he gains is critical, with Weller starting so far up the grid.
Nigel Walters is losing ground here. Daniel Cochise makes the pass.
And John Estrop now gets past Walters as well. Walters is really struggling for pace in this one.
And it's not stopping there for Walters. He's also lost positions to Jimmy Lindo and Rich Snape. A tough opening for him.
He's falling down the order quickly. You've got to find that rhythm early at Brands Hatch, and he hasn't quite got it.
Tim Weller has just taken a place for Martijn Mol, a crucial move in the championship battle.
And Mol is now losing ground to John Clark as well. He needs to regroup quickly after that.
But Mol is fighting back straight away. He's just taken the position back from John Clark.
That's great racecraft from Mol. He wasn't going to let that position go easily.
Oh, contact between Martijn Mol and John Clark. It looked like Mol just clipped Clark.
And Clark is now under attack from Chris Stokes, who gets past. This is getting messy in the midfield.
More contact. John Clark and John Estrop, then Estrop and Clark again. Clark is losing a lot of positions here. Jimmy Lindo and Nigel Walters get by as well.
That's a huge blow for John Clark's championship aspirations. He's dropped way down the order in a matter of seconds.
Elliot Norton has just made a move on Chris Stokes, gaining a crucial position.
That's a good move for Norton. Another strong drive from him in the Pro-Am class. He's making steady progress.
Jimmy Lindo gets past Chris Stokes. Another Pro-Am battle heating up.
But Stokes is fighting back. He's not letting Lindo have that position easily. He's straight back at him. This is fierce.
And Nigel Walters also makes a move on Lindo, who's now losing ground again.
Lindo's had an up and down race. He's showing some speed, but consistency is proving to be a challenge.
Rich Snape makes a move on Phil Bodkin. A good battle between the AM drivers here.
Snape's had a good race so far. He's doing well to keep it clean and pick off places when he can.
Mac McFarquhar takes the checkered flag. A dominant drive from pole position to win race 7.
Fantastic result for McFarquhar, exactly what he needed after that penalty in the last race, and Jody Fannin finishes second with championship leader Tim Weller in third.
What a race 7 that was at Brands Hatch. Mac McFarquhar delivered a dominant performance to take the win from pole position.
It was an important race for Tim Weller, who bounced back from his tough race 6 to finish third and consolidate his championship lead. And we saw some intense battles throughout the field, especially with John Clark losing out in the midfield chaos.
Welcome back to Brands Hatch for the final race of this Thursday evening event, Race 8, and the championship fight is absolutely on fire.
It really is. Tim Weller still leads, but John Astrop is just 4 points behind him after that last race. And Mac McFarquhar has jumped to 4th overall after his win, making huge inroads in the Pro-Am Championship.
Indeed. And Jody Fannin has also made a strong leap up the standings after his podium finish in Race 7. It's so close across all 3 classes, Pro, Pro-Am, and AM.
This final race is going to be crucial for everyone. You can feel the tension in the air.
Here we are for the final race of the evening, Race 8, and it's another reverse grid. Greg Sabo once again on pole position alongside Sten Wallstrom.
This is going to be another chaotic start. All the championship frontrunners are starting right at the back of the grid. Mac McFarquhar, the Race 7 winner, is P16.
Tim Weller, our overall championship leader, starts P14. John Astrop, just 4 points behind him, is P11. This is a massive opportunity for some of the AM drivers starting at the front, like Rich Snape in P5 and Joel Lemrich in P7.
It's all to play for. The pressure is immense, especially for the pro drivers who need to carve their way through the field quickly. This is where racecraft truly shines, especially with the ballast some of these pro drivers are carrying.
And the lights are out. Race 8, the final race of the evening, is go.
Good start from Sabo at the front, but the midfield is already bunching up into Paddock Hill Bend.
Rich Snape, starting P5, is making a good early move on Phil Bodkin.
Yeah, Snape's really pushing hard at the front. Oh, but he's gone wide and lost a spot to Phil Bodkin. He'll be kicking himself for that.
Further back, Elliot Norton is flying. He's just cleared Nigel Walters, Martijn Mol, and Tim Weller in one swoop.
Incredible driving from Norton. And he's not done yet. He's also passed Sten Wallstrom and John Astrop. What a charge.
Astrop takes the place back. Oh, but Norton gets it back straight away. They're side by side. Mac McFarquhar is starting his climb through the field from the back, already getting past Tim Weller.
And McFarquhar also dispatches Sten Wallstrom. He's clearly looking to recover some points here in the final race of the evening.
Martijn Mol gets past Chris Stokes, another pro driver on the move.
Oh, but Mole has lost 2 places there, both to Jody Fannin and Stokes. He needs to settle down a bit there, very congested.
Stokes and Mole are still battling hard. Mole takes the position back from Stokes. What a fight.
And Jody Fannin and Martijn Mol both make moves on Jimmy Lindo. This is a really tough fight for positions in the midfield.
Jody Fannin has just made a move on John Astrop. That's a huge championship swing.
Oh, Fannin was off track there. That's going to be a penalty for gaining an unfair advantage. And now Astrop understeers into Fannin. This is getting heated.
John Clark is under immense pressure from Joel Lemrich, who takes the position.
Lemrich is really pushing hard. Clark gets the position back. But Lemrich is not giving up and takes it back again. Fantastic racing from the AM driver.
Oh, contact between John Clark and Joel Lemrich. There's been a crash between the 2 championship contenders.
That's a big incident for both of them. They were fighting tooth and nail, and it's ended in tears.
Tim Weller gains a place from Elliot Norton. The championship leader is fighting.
But Norton gets the place back straight away. They're really battling hard for this position.
Weller takes it back again. He's determined to make progress. Oh, but Norton gets the move done again. This is incredible.
And now, a huge moment. John Astrop has just passed Tim Weller. That's a massive championship swing in this final race.
Tim Weller has just made a move on Elliot Norton.
And Jody Fannin also gets past Norton, but Norton fights back immediately and gets Fannin back. What a battle.
Daniel Cochise takes the checkered flag. An absolutely brilliant win for the AM driver in Race 8.
What a fantastic drive from Cochise to hold on and take the victory. And an incredible run for Rich Snape in second, with Joel Lemrich rounding out the podium.
That was an incredible final race here at Brands Hatch. Daniel Cochise takes a well-deserved win in the reverse grid race.
We saw some huge championship battles, especially between Tim Weller and John Astrop, who were fighting tooth and nail all race. That collision between John Clark and Joel Lemrick was also a pivotal moment, a truly fitting end to this super sprint event.
What an absolutely sensational evening of super sprint racing we've witnessed here at Brands Hatch. For incredible races, and the championship standings have been completely shaken up.
You're not wrong. Tim Weller holds on to the overall lead, but John Astrop, with a win and consistent points, has closed that gap to just 3 points. That's a huge shift in the Pro Championship battle.
Indeed. And we've seen some massive moves up the table. Martijn Mol, a pro driver, has jumped from 11th to 7th overall. Elliot Norton and Jody Fannin have also made significant leaps from 18th and 17th respectively, both now firmly in the top 15.
And the AM battle is tighter than ever, with Joel Lemrick and Rich Snape both climbing into the top 5 overall. As a driver, you know this kind of intensity makes every single race critical. We'll be back for more next time.